Hello and welcome to my next and latest chess video. This is showing a game that I played today, which is Saturday the 7th of February 2015. It was played on the Internet Chess Club and was a 5-minute blitz game. I'm playing black and I'm rated about 1180, nearly 1200. About 1180, between something like that, and my opponent here is only rated 1000. The title of this is an opening trap in the Keres Defence. The Keres Defence is an opening I've just started playing within the last week or two, and I don't yet know much about it, but this game was a 7-move win for me as black. White resigned because of the opening trap that I'm about to show you. So I'm going to go through the game. White plays d4, and here I play e6 in reply, which is my standard reply and has been against d4. Very often I'll then go and play b6 and play an English type defence, especially when white plays 2c4, which white does in this game. But here the Keres defence is bishop to b4 check. This is played by Grandmaster Paul Keres, a very strong Grandmaster, and some of his games I can recall versus Stolberg, and several other people have played it, but I can't find a large amount of information on it. Wikipedia says something like it will transpose into several openings, e.g. the Nimzo Indian or the Bogo Indian, and some others I can't remember which now. But anyway, I've only played a few games with it. It's been reasonable for me, and this game shows a trap that is possible with it, and a trap that I've not actually seen before anywhere on the internet, so maybe this is a first for me, this video, and let's carry on. So here white has to block the check. Well, he can't block with the queen, otherwise he loses the queen. His tactics here are to block with the bishop or the knight, and both can block on either d2 or the knight can block on d2 or on c3. Here my opponent plays bishop d2, threatening now to exchange bishops. And here I do recall when people have played knight to c3, Keres has actually played c5, but I'm also wondering whether to play c5 or a5 and maybe get into a sort of a Benko type opening as well. But I elect here just to support my bishop by playing a5. And white captures the bishop, bishop takes bishop, and I recapture with the pawn. And now white plays queen to b3, hoping to immediately recapture the black pawn. But I play knight to c6 now, protecting the pawn and also setting up this trap. And white sort of just obligingly falls for the trap. White is determined to capture the b pawn, and so adds more pressure on the b pawn by playing a3, attacking that pawn twice now. Well, I see an opening and an opportunity now to capture the d pawn that's unprotected, and take away a pawn for nothing. So I play knight takes d4, and here I'm threatening the queen, so the queen really has to move, and white moves the queen but to the wrong square. White plays queen takes b4, and now can you see the killer move? Right, the killer move is knight to c2, which is a check, and it's a royal family fork for the knight, forking the queen, the king, the rook with the king in check. So at this point white sees that and resigns the game. So I'm just going to show what would happen if I did play the variation. Here, knight to c2 is a check, and the king has to move. It doesn't really matter whether the king moves to d2, I don't suppose, or to d1. Imagine the king moves to d1. Here I've just played knight takes queen and gone a queen up. And here white can't really recapture the knight, because if white does recapture the knight there as black, I can just play rook takes rook and be even further ahead in material. So that was an interesting little opening trap that I found in the Keres Defence. I'll just go back to the beginning and show this again. Bishop b4 check is the Keres Defence. White blocks with the bishop. I protect the bishop with a5. Swap off. White attacks the pawn with the queen, and then further with a pawn, leaving me the option of knight takes d4, attacking the queen, and white falls for the trap of queen takes b4, leaving me now with the killer move, knight to c2, checking the white king and threatening and forking at the same time the white queen and rook. And white has to move the king, and I can take the queen, and if white does take the knight, white loses the rook with rook takes rook. So anyway, my opponent resigned on move 7, and with that happening on move 7, with the we'll just go back here, with the check there, move 8, king to d1, and on move 8, knight takes queen, and it's game over really for white at that stage. So I hope you've enjoyed looking at that. I'm hoping that I can learn more about the Keres Defence and play it more in my games, but that certainly is an interesting opening trap that I found in the Keres Defence. So thank you very much for watching, and happy chess playing, and I wonder if there are any other traps in this Keres Defence. That's all for now. Bye for now.